Victims of convicted sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein are speaking out today, gathering in D.C. along with lawmakers. It comes in the wake of yesterday's release of flight logs and files related to Epstein, his private island, and his associates. But some are calling this file dump much ado about nothing. Miami Herald reporter Julie Brown, who's been on the Epstein case for nearly 2 decades, said this morning that the release included thousands of duplicate pages, calling it a tactic meant to deceive the public. NewsNation's Joe Khalil is live in Washington with the latest. Joe, what are we learning about this latest document release, and what are Epstein's victims saying?
Well, there was a lot today, Nichole. It was moving, it was emotional, and I think it's easy to get lost in the politics of the Epstein story and the situation, who benefits from the files being released, who benefits from them not being released. But at the heart of it is this man who was convicted of very serious and heinous, disgusting crimes, and a whole bunch of victims whose lives have been impacted forever and who have emotional scars still. And today it was impossible to not remember that more visceral part of the story, because just behind me here, you had about a dozen or so victims and their families coming forward, telling their stories, making sure that people know that they are still suffering through this even today, and that they are demanding the full release of the Epstein files. And they were flanked by members of Congress Thomas Massie, Republican, Ro Khanna, the Democrat, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, all of whom spoke pushing for the full release of those files as well. Take a listen to just one snippet. This is Virginia Guffrey's family. She was an Epstein victim who was one of the first ever to come speak out. She has since taken her life. And just listen to how her family directly spoke to lawmakers who are not voting for this discharge petition to release all the files.
I plead to you, whether you're a dad, a mom, a brother, or a sister, look your young ones in the face, look them in the eye, and tell them you didn't stand against the very people who raped, molested, and preyed upon children and young women. If you vote no, your stance will be clear. You will be choosing to stand on the side of the rich and powerful, allowing money to buy your way out of the consequence.
So really heavy stuff, Nichole. And there were a lot of tears, there were a lot of hugs, there were a lot of emotional appeals to lawmakers to support this effort. Now, there was some news made here. One of the survivors did say that collectively, the survivors are going to be putting together their own quote-unquote client list. People who they say they all knew these names, these personas. Some of them were around Jeffrey Epstein all of the time, who these victims allege committed serious crimes. And they haven't released that, but they said they're going to come together in a confidential way, put that list together, and try to help move the ball forward. So that would certainly be something that's interesting that we are going to be watching. Talk to Congressman Thomas Massie, who's still behind us, taking questions about that. He is all for an effort like that. He said even he was surprised to hear it. Now, the politics of this are that there are 2 different efforts right now to release the Epstein files. One of them is this House Oversight Committee investigation, and then there is the Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie effort. The victims are clearly behind the latter, behind this discharge petition. The Speaker of the House, the White House, and several Republicans say the Oversight Committee doing their investigation will yield the same results, and that they say even it may have more weight under the law if you do it this way, where they have subpoena power. But Khanna and Massie disagree, and what they're looking for now are at least 2 more Republicans to sign on to their petition. That's all it would take to literally force a vote on the House floor to release the full Epstein files. So obviously today and tomorrow, as the week progresses, we're going to be watching to see which Republicans put their name on that petition.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.